Hi, I'm Fercha Pombo. This is Bricks by Fercha, a real-world product management case study about designing, testing, and validating a collaborative tattoo service. I've worked as a professional tattoo artist for over 15 years, mostly in Berlin. In that time, I have completed thousands of tattoo sessions and worked with a wide range of clients. This project was created while transitioning into product management, using a real business as test environment. In traditional tattooing, most of the work happens before the session. Clients either choose from flash designs or go through long back and forth conversations to finalize a custom piece. This often leads to inefficiency, creative fatigue, and limited client involvement in the actual design process. Through repeated client interactions over many years, three consistent needs emerged. Clients want tattoos that feel meaningful, unique, and personally connected to them. However, most workflows only involve them at the approval stage, not at the creation stage. The core hypothesis was, if clients actively participate in building the design, then emotional attachment and perceived value will increase without significantly increasing session complexity. The proposed solution was Bricks by Fercha. It is a co-creative tattoo experience that uses Lego dots as modular design system combined with printmaking and then tattooing. Play is used here as a structured interface, not as a decoration. How it works. First, the client and I build the design using Lego dots. This means we both sit, we both talk, and we conceptualize what the client has in mind. And then, using the board and the Lego dots, we create it together. We adjust, we change what is needed, and in the meantime, we work together and get to know each other. This step usually takes about 1 hour. It depends on the complexity of the design and the size the person is aiming for. This replaces most of the pre-session design conversations, the email back and forth, and extensive changes on designs. Then comes the printing part. This is, I think, the most fun for the client. This Lego configuration is translated into a physical print where we use materials. I explain how the process is done, and first I do the first one, but then they are free to do it together alone or together with me. This step creates a tangible artifact that locks the design before the tattooing begins. It allows also the person to start feeling excited about the tattoo and feeling involved in the making of it. Then we take our time to do a couple of more designs so the person can choose between textures, density of design, and then we have a winner. This then is translated into digital and cleared by me, cleaned, and as a final step printed as a tattoo stencil, which then would be translated into skin. The last part, and the longest, is the tattoo of it. At this stage, the client already understands and owns the design, which reduces the hesitation and increases the confidence. By this time that the client seemed to be already and proved to be excited about it, about how it looks and how it would look like, as well as feeling deeply connected to it. The definition of the MVP, it was defined as one complete end-to-end session with one real client. The goal here was not to scale, but to validate whether the experience worked as intended in practice. The MVP included a real payment, a real time investment, and real delivery. It excluded automatization, assistance, paid ads, or any optimization tools. It kept the test focused on the riskiest assumptions. The acquisition funnel was intentionally simple. The users discovered the project on Instagram, contacted me via direct message, and booked a session manually. This allowed a close observation of user behavior and questions. The early metrics showed promising signals for a niche service. Approximately 5 to 8% of profile visitors initiated a contact, and around 40 to 50% of those conversations converted into a booking. At this stage, success was measured more through behavior than volume. And budgeting. The MVP budget was deliberately low. The total direct costs were under 150 euros, mainly materials and setup. Time investment averaged 5 to 6 hours per session. The scalability of this project was not designed for high volume. The documentation, what scales are visibly documentation and geographic flexibility. It didn't scale in volume, which is intentionally kept to preserve the quality and the uniqueness of this project. The most important risks and mitigations included low awareness, which means there needed to be a lot of education about the progress, the process, how it works, how it's done, and documentation on education. The niche audience, where it meant that there would be more excited and invested clients, but harder to find, and also the inconsistent demand for it. It is mitigated, the risks are mitigated by the low fixed cost of it, the clear positioning, and it is a project that runs along existing tattoo work. The documentation and learnings, each session was documented through short videos, photos of the final tattoo, and the user's feedback. And the key learning so far shows that co-creation increases perceived value and that clear framing significantly reduces users' hesitation. Some next steps would be include improving the onboarding clarity, refining educational content, and continuing to validate demand over time rather than accelerating growth. And there was also a brief timeline of 12 weeks, with the first 2 weeks focused on discovery and problem framing, both weeks 3 and 4 for concept design and testing materials, and MVP was built and launched in 5 to 6 weeks, and the validation ran for the weeks 7 to 9 afterwards, followed by an iteration and refinement. Thank you very much, and I hope to see you soon for more Bricks by Fercha.